All right, so I've made a financially irresponsible decision again. I've opened up Facebook Marketplace just for a quick look, which is the adult equivalent of saying you're just gonna have one beer. 20 minutes later, I own a Helix. Did I need one? No. Did I plan on getting one? No. Was it suspiciously cheap and therefore legally required to be purchased? Yep. So let's get into it and discover why a gigging guitarist who uses guitar amps would waste his money on a Line 6 Helix in 2026. Let's go. G'day legends, Andrew Walker here. Today we're talking about the Line 6 Helix, but not your typical cork sniffer, space age, replace your whole rig setup. Nah man, I'm still running amps like a stubborn old dude who yells at clouds. What we're gonna have a look at is the Line 6 Helix that's gonna do all your effects in a live pedal board. All your drives, all your delays, all your reverbs, all your modulation, all your pitch, all your utility sort of effects, all wrapped up into one nice, massive little package. Basically, this thing now becomes the world's most overqualified pedal board. It's basically like hiring a neurosurgeon to butter your toast in the morning. Completely overkill, but it was cheap. But if this sort of stuff is helpful or enjoyable or you like it or you think it's bullshit, whatever it is, don't be a knob. Go down and hit that subscribe button. Help get this channel up to 1,000 subs. When we do, I'll be giving away a Valton GP5 for free. So yeah, go do that. I'll wait. Go. Hit it. Hit it. Thanks, legends. So the original plan before my head exploded was to use a HX Effects or a Stomp XL, integrate that into my pedal board with all the analog drive pedals, and just use delays, reverbs, modulation, and that sort of stuff in the HX Effects. Sensible, you know, a nice little add-on, very responsible behavior, very adult-like. Real, I've matured as a person type of energy, but Marketplace hit me, as it does all of us, I'm sure. What I noticed scrolling the secondhand market was the HX Effects was still expensive. The Stomp XL in Australia ran from $900 to $1,200, which was, you know, pretty expensive. But then I found a Helix LT from an old bloke who was a jazz musician. He's had it about 6 months and he doesn't know what to do with it. Flog it out the door for $900 with the Helix backpack. So absolute steal. My thinking behind it, HX Effects, no amps, and it has no input impedance control in it, which some people swear black and blue changes everything. I don't really know. The Stomp XL would have been a nicer, smaller footprint to fit on my analog board, but it only has half the DSP power of its big brother, and it was more expensive on the used market. It's like going to Macca's and ordering a small chips and they give you the whole restaurant for the same price. It's a win. Look, to be completely honest, there wasn't really a lot of common sense involved in this purchase. It was much bigger, much better, less monies, I'll buy it. And that was pretty much the thought process behind it. It's pretty caveman economics, even if I do say so myself. Lots of unga bunga energy. So first impressions with the pedal. It's not actually a pedal, it's a kitchen appliance. It's big enough to have a family dinner on. The thing's massive. Like it is a big dog of a unit. It's huge. I mean, if you dropped it on your foot, you'd be calling work cover. But in saying that, it's built like a tank and I handle my gear like a gorilla. So really, you know, I can't really complain too much about it. But the big realization came when I plugged it in, played around some settings and I looked over at my analog pedal board and thought to myself, Why? Why do I still own all this antiquated crap? Because let's be honest, analog pedal boards sometimes can be just stress. There is nothing worse in this world, that feeling when you get on stage and you plug your power supply into the wall and you're just waiting for the lights to come on your pedals and things to boot up. Then you go through and make sure they're all working. It's just stress. And I've had a few gigs where, you know, 1 or 2 pedals have gone down or a power supply is crapped out, to know by now that analog pedals equal stress. Not to mention you got patch cables everywhere, Velcro collecting dog hair, a pedal that only works intermittently if you swear at it when Mercury's in retrograde, and random buzzing that only comes up in quiet songs for some reason, which is real annoying. Now it's literally just Helix on the floor, guitar into it, and then a lead out to an amp, and I am done. 2 cables, and even I can't mess that up. I'm set up in under a minute and I'm ready to go. So let's get into the pros and cons of running a flagship device as a makeshift pedal board. The pros, like I said before, setups, simple. I was done before the sound guy could even ask me, oh, are you ready to go yet? Oh yeah, I was. And he was shocked. And I was shocked. And it was awesome. Pro number 2, everything for every song is saved properly. There are times in the set where I have to stand on a reverb pedal and recall a sound that is a big, washy, ambient reverb. And if I don't remember to bend down, change the preset on my Hall of Fame to that, I'm going to stand on the reverb pedal. I'm going to get a really sort of tight sounding room reverb. Not good. With this thing, I can set it up as a per song basis, hit the snapshot that corresponds to that section of the song, and bam, all my effects come in flawless every single time. And that is worth everything just by itself. Pro number 3, the effects actually sound really good. We all know Line 6 do killer reverbs and delays and modulations and all that sort of stuff. But in the Helix range, the drives are actually very good, very usable. And I challenge anyone in the crowd, 1 o'clock in the morning, you've had an absolute skinful to be able to tell me that what they're hearing through the PA is either an actual real life clone, a digital emulation of a clone, or just distortion. No one knows. No one cares. The next pro, it's dead silent, like eerily quiet. You know, when you first plug it in, you don't think it's actually working until you stand on the pedal and the thing comes to life and away we go. But there's no ground loop. There's no stupid noises attributed to Povo power supplies. It is quiet and it sounds great. But this wouldn't be an accurate list with some cons. So first con is it's massive if you're a sook. Because this is going to be my only pedal option on stage, it is comparatively sized to my analog board. So it's not all doom and gloom. But if you're looking at a compact rig or a compact solution, maybe not this. This is, it's pretty fucking big. Next con, menu diving. While the Helix is pretty intuitive and pretty user-friendly, there are times when you have to, belt through some menus. In saying that though, it is very easy to do. I haven't really come across anything where I'm spending too long searching for settings or searching for ways to tweak tones and all that. It's user-friendly. There's a lot going on in it, don't get me wrong, but you don't need an aerospace engineering degree to actually figure out how to use this thing. But the biggest con I can think of, and I suppose this goes with any sort of gear that you gig with, is if it dies, you're cooked. If you've got all your sounds baked into this one thing and it goes down, now you're plugging straight into a Fender Hot Rod Deluxe and hoping to God you can get some gain out of it and just using your volume control, because you're done for the night. Otherwise, you're playing acoustic. Awesome. Righto, here comes the fun stuff. How do I actually set this up as a gigging musician? So I've got 2 trains of thought. One is going to be a global sort of genre-specific sound, and the next is song-specific. So let's go with the first one first. So if I'm playing a cover set, I don't know who the is over there hammering. So if I'm playing a cover set and one song is like a 90s grunge song and the next is like a modern pop country, I can set up patches that correspond to them. Inside each one of them, I've got snapshots for like clean, crunch, lead, ambient. The way I've got it set up at the moment is 4 snapshots, and then I've got 4 assignable stomp boxes as well, meaning I can turn on like a tremolo or a boost or whatever it may be for that specific sort of sound that I'm going for. Option number 2 though is a per song thing. So if the song has effects on the recording that are intrinsic to actually performing that song successfully, what we can do is create a patch for that one song, bake that effect straight into it, set up the snapshots, so then you've got your verse, your choruses, the bit with the weird effects, whatever it may be, and then you have all your individual stomp boxes on the top row, 4 of them in this case, and you can assign them as a per song basis. Everything on the screen is clearly labeled so you can see what is doing what, and it is flawless. Coolest thing about that is I can go from a clean tone with a touch of reverb on it, a bit of compression, maybe a bit of chorus, and a slap back delay, stand on another pedal, one pedal in one foot switch, I can go a boost on, going into an OCD, going into a dotted eighth delay, going into, I don't know, an octave down, going into this, going into this, going to this, and it switches instantly. There's no pops, there's no crackles. And you might be asking though, how does it actually feel compared to analog pedals? And to be honest, really, really good, because I'm only using the effects in the Helix and not the amp. So standing in front of an amp, still blowing air up your pants, still nice and loud, it sounds great. It feels great. It responds great. It's wicked. It's really, really good. So my final thoughts, honestly, buying a Line 6 Helix secondhand on the cheap and using it just for effects might be one of the best ways to actually use it. Are there better amp sounds out there? 100,000,000%. There are amp sounds out there that sound better than a 15-year-old, whatever it is, Line 6 Helix. There's no two ways about it. What about the effects? Do some units sound better? Well, probably. The Kempers are great. QCs are brilliant. Fractal effects are unbelievable. There's not a hell of a lot of effects in the Tonex, so we'll leave that one out. But can you get any of them for under $1,000? Maybe one of the toaster Kempers, but then you need to go buy a floorboard for that as well. And then the dollars start adding up anyway. So what do you get with a Helix that you don't really get with an analog board? Well, first of all, it's tonal flexibility. You've got a different pedal board for every song if you want that. You've got ease of setup. Like I said, 2 cables and you're done. Unless you're running stereo, then it's 3 cables. Wow. The other benefits you get playing live with that is a pedal board. Real amp feel, real amp volume, real air moving. The things you lose out of it though, cable spaghetti, the underside of your pedal board looking like a rat's nest with all the DC cables running everywhere. Tap dancing, pedals going down mid-set, your shoe touching the knob on pedals and changing the setting, so when you go and stand on your overdrive, you've got no volume. That's always fun. And random ass electrical demons at venues with crap electricity, lights everywhere. There's none of that. It's basically all the good parts of a pedalboard without all the pedalboard nonsense that comes with it, which at this stage of life, I don't exactly really want. I'm not chasing vintage mojo, not chasing street cred when people look down on my pedalboard and they see a whole bunch of boutique rubbish. All I want as a session musician and a gigging musician is ease of use, ease of setup, and reliability. And that thing delivers it in spades. Anyway, legends, that concludes my oops, I bought a Helix story. If you like this sort of stuff, like I said, go down and hit like and subscribe. get us up to 1,000 subs, and I'll be giving away a Valton GP5 for free. So what I'm going to do right now is go through that wall behind me and try and sort out some of the pedals that I don't use anymore and bang them up on Marketplace and get rid of them. But anyway, guys, I will see you on the next one. Peace out.